Welcome back to another book review. It's been a little while. The last two books I've read, the first one was There Will Be War. I finished it out. Amazing. And this video is not going to focus on it. You know, it's kind of hard to do a review video on a series of short stories other than to say that There Will Be War is awesome. Volume 1 and 2, the hardback is on Amazon. You can also get the ebook on Castalia. And I will definitely be getting Volume 3. In fact, it's already here. I will be reading that at some point, but it's sitting on my shelf now. Absolutely worth it. But this video is about The Crusades by Chris McNab. I could not find much about Chris McNab. Apparently online, the Chris McNab that you can look up is some kind of like scientist. The author of this book, he doesn't have a Wikipedia or an info Galactic page. He doesn't really have any info. But, you know, I did read this book. Let me tell you a little bit about why I bought it. First of all, maybe this is something that, you know, Vox Day experiences, but I am like addicted to collecting leather books. I had to literally kind of put it on hold and force myself to stop buying them because it's real easy to rack up a $1,000 plus bill at Easton Press. I mean, the good news is that most of the Easton Press books are not going to be purchased because they're not worth it. And so I think I've pretty much hit the limit of what I will definitely, well, what I would be buying from them anyway. But, you know, when I first started splurging on Easton, because I got a taste of leather books from Castalia, I basically started just getting everything that looked decent without reviewing them. That's why I started asking folks on Social Galactic if they had heard of them or whatever. But I got this book, The Crusades, and there's good and there's bad. It's already wrapped in leather. It's available at Easton, or at least not anymore. It'll be back. And then if you prefer, you can grab the hardcover version on Amazon for a lot less, and it's, you know, it's the same book. But let me tell you a little bit about it. Pull up my notes that I started writing a while ago, see what I think may have changed. Actually, I probably will caveat what I started writing a while ago, but again, it's an Easton book, so it's very high quality. Like, I don't know that they use cowhide leather. I think that they do, to be honest, but I can't really be sure. Same kind of thing. I think it's, you know, probably fake gold pages. Perhaps it's real gold on the spine. I have no idea. But it's, you know, it looks good on the bookshelf, for sure. The pages are very smooth, and this is a book that has images, right? It almost looks like a very well put together textbook, like a college textbook, right? Like, look at those maps. The artwork in this book is absolutely fantastic, and in my opinion is probably what makes this book. Like, if you're going to get this book, get it because there's some really good artwork in here that'll kind of give you, well, that'll paint the picture of the Crusades in a sense, if you will. Really, really well done art is probably the best part about this book. What else? The artwork is amazing. Yeah. I would actually put some of these on my wall. I did write that, and I absolutely would. Some of these pieces would be framed, worth framing and putting in your study. But if you look on the video, you don't have to. It's audio for sure. But basically, the book is, I wrote months ago or weeks ago when I started that the book is trying to stay very neutral on the topic, but I can sense that it was written in a way to offend, written in a way not to offend Muslims. There was a line in there where it was like, the Eastern Empire was being attacked by a degree of exaggeration, was very anti-crusade. So they said that I'm a little tired, to be honest. I'm going to get this out though, but basically it was saying that the argument that the Eastern Empire was being attacked was it being exaggerated, and that the crusade wasn't exactly justified, which I completely disagree with. Also, the book it mentioned this line. I will never forget this line when it brought up Islam. It was like, Islam was founded when the Prophet Muhammad received the revelations from God through the Archangel Gabriel. But at the same time, it does mention the spear of Christ and how it was supposed and alleged. It's like, okay, so when a crusader has a dream and hundreds of other people talk to him about it, that's alleged. But when Muhammad says he had a revelation and saw God through the angel Gabriel, that is for sure. That's how he wrote it in this book. I did not like that. And then that kind of set me off thinking, okay, this is probably written by some kind of Enlightenment Protestant guy who wants to crap all over the Crusades because the Crusades make the Catholic Church look bad, according to them. And it wasn't all like that, for sure. Like, it was, if we were to look at a scale, on the left of it would be anti-Christian, on the right, anti-Muslim, in the middle, neutral. It was probably a little bit towards the left part of neutral, but not totally anti-Christian. But it was definitely no mention whatsoever of the centuries of Muslim incursion into the European area. Like, no mention of Sicily, no mention of Spain, no mention of, I think there was mention of Charles Martel briefly, but nothing like that. You basically need to know that about when you're studying the Crusades. You need to know the centuries of Muslim aggression that happened before that. But if you don't, it's because they're trying to keep that information from you so that you think, oh, it was just a completely offensive campaign out of nowhere. Like, not really. And we'll get into that into another review because I'm reading God's Battalions finally. But another thing I'm going to say is, like, this author makes it a point to highlight all the aggression that was done against Jewish people by Christians, never by Muslims. So even to the point where it's just like he literally puts in like sentences like that are just kind of peppered throughout, like, the Christians slaughtered the Muslims and the Jews, like, just like unnecessarily a few times, like, throughout the book. Like, we get it, dude. You hate Christians. You think they're bad. The good thing about the book is that it has, factual information about the Crusades. So some of that stuff is very much true. It does talk about, all the Crusades. So I read Harold Lamb's book, which only talks about the first. I think he's got others, which I'm going to read at some point. But, yeah, basically, this is a pretty interesting book if you want to kind of read surface level, high level information about all of them, leading up to like the 14 and 1500s. The artwork is what really makes the book, though. In all honesty, after reading it, I would say, unless you're really dead set on a leather-bound collection, just get the Amazon version. It's $25 if you're going to get it. It's a good overview of all the Crusades. Just know that it's probably written by a guy who's Protestant, who's anti-Catholic, who's anti-Crusade, because it definitely has that vibe to it. Yeah, and there was a couple other things. The book claimed that Bohemond from the First Crusade was hated by Anna Komnena, but Harold Lamb's version of that is that she was majorly crushing on him. So that was a little bit of a different account. If you really want details of battles, like for pages and if not chapters, you should definitely pick up Harold Lamb's book. It's way more detailed. This book is super surface level. Again, I probably would not have bought this had I known. I'm not going to get rid of it or anything. It looks nice. It's got great artwork in it, but just get the Amazon version if you're interested in that. And that's that. That's the last book I read. I am reading God's Battalions now, and already very much in agreement with the way that book is going. And anyways, good to be talking to you all again, and have a good one.